Still got John and JT in my head. I'll catch up here in a moment. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the beauty of each hour, for the day and for the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon of and stars of light. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child. Love we praise all things above, gentle, peaceful, calm, and mild. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. How many of you grew up singing this song? Yeah. How many of you sang this song in junior high and senior high choir? Oh, yeah. At least the Hoosiers did. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies. We live in an amazing world. We live in a pivotal world, don't we? We live right now in interesting times. I would say that all times are interesting just because we're humans on planet Earth, and we were brought here to be interesting beings. And we seem to be on an accelerated pace of interesting right now. And so how do we show up for that? How do we be present? How do we remember for the beauty of the earth? In Unity, we teach that all life is sacred. All life is sacred. I was going to bring to you, and it didn't work out, but I will end up showing you these pictures sometime in the next few weeks because I'm just going to give you a short positioning of it right now. 2 images came into my field this week. One of them was a Jerusalem cricket. Do any of you know what a Jerusalem cricket is? If you don't care for creepy crawly things. Now, I have somebody in my life that would absolutely think this was the most beautiful creature on earth. Me, not so much. Another name for it is the potato bug. Remember I was telling you the potato bug story while we were walking the dogs? A potato bug. Very interesting creature of God. And the other image that came into my field was a teeny tiny, newly born baby porcupine. Oh my gosh. Apparently, they're born full quill, fluffy as can be, and within 45 minutes, their quills harden. Isn't that fascinating? For the beauty of the earth. There are so many amazing things that I cannot even fathom. This particular picture of this baby porcupine, a person was holding it in their hand like this, and his, I don't know, they've got like 6 or 8 little fingers or phalanges on their feet. And this cute, oh my God, it was the most adorable thing in the world. For the beauty of the earth. And then you have things like the Jerusalem cricket, aka potato bug, which many, many years ago in Mountain View, California, my brother was visiting me and my husband and my daughter, and it was a summer night. We were watching a movie. My brother was stretched out on the living room floor, and all of a sudden, this big, wasn't that big, but big creature that none of us had ever seen before is just crawling towards my brother's feet. We absolutely flipped out. It was like the aliens had landed. We didn't know what to do with it. We had never seen anything like this. So one of us, not me, managed to, I guess, get it in a jar, and we took it to our neighbor's house because Greg was a scientist at NASA. We lived in Mountain View, and NASA was right there, right? And so we were fortunate to have this wonderful neighbor who knew all sorts of things. He didn't know anything about potato bugs. He's, But anyway, oh my gosh. The world is the most fascinating place when we remember to live in the wonder and beauty. How many of you were following this last week the images of the Aurora Borealis? Oh my word. Some people saw it here in California. Of course, we've had quite a bit of cloud cover when that was going on, and we have a lot of ambient light. This is a photography page that I follow is Indiana Photography. And I can't remember now where this image was taken. Oh my gosh, you can't really see it. I blew it up too much. Hopefully you noticed on the other slides. But this is by a photographer by the name of Tom Meador. There, see it?
It's hard.
It's a heart, right? But he managed to take that picture just as there was also a shooting star. How cool is that? How cool is that? I was talking to someone yesterday. I called them. I had been out walking, and it just kept coming to me myself, like many of you, we listen, right? We pay attention to our intuition, and I just kept hearing, call so-and-so, call so-and-so. It's like, okay, I'll call when I'm off of this busy street, I'll call. And when I got in the car, I called, and they went, oh my gosh, we were just now talking about you. And that we need to talk to you. In that moment is when I was guided to dial that number. And as we talked about the other things that we needed to talk about, we came back to the fact, they said, it's amazing that you called right at this moment. And I said, this is just further proof, if we need proof. In those moments when you feel doubtful, when you feel afraid, when you don't know what the heck is going on. And then we get this moments, and I said, if we ever forget, it's moments like this that happen that remind us that there is more that is going on in the universe than what we can even fathom. That the universe is so intelligent and open and loving and wise for the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies. Oh, there's so much I want to share with you today, but I know I'm not going to be able to with everything that I want. But I am going to share just a part of this story. Okay, I will listen. So as I said, Unity teaches that all life is sacred, and we know that. that every person serves their unique purpose on planet Earth. And there was a man, his name is Mike, and his son Jason was in high school, and they were having career day. And Jason told his teacher that his father was a logistics and supply chain expert. And so she wanted him to come and be a part of career day. And Mike says how he showed up in the parking lot in his F-150, his Ford, am I saying that right? Getting the name of the truck right, and parked next to the fancy luxury cars, and walked into the auditorium, and one of the parents who were speaking was a neuroscientist. Another one worked in finance, and they shared their stories of everything that they do in the world. And the scientist, I think she was a neurosurgeon, talked about mind mapping. And they went through this whole thing, and then it was Mike's turn. And Mike is up there. He said he had on his best work boots and his a clean flannel shirt and his best jeans. Says, I've got a line of grease underneath my fingernails that all the scrubbing in the world will not get rid of. He said, my name is Mike. I'm 58 years old. For 30 of those years, I've been a long-haul trucker. I'm a widower, a veteran, and a father. His wife taught at that school. Mike goes on to say the library was packed with the A-team of parents. The neurosurgeon, the guy with the expensive watch who ran an investment firm. He said he used the word synergy 5 times and talked about Q4 projections. I saw the kids' eyes glazing over. He said as he was there, I had no PowerPoint. When he started talking to the kids, he says, my name is Mike. I'm not a doctor or a banker. I never finished college. I'm a truck driver. He said the silence in the room changed. It went from polite attention to cold, awkward curiosity. The finance guy was already checking his phone. He said, but my son calls me a logistics expert, which is a nice way of saying I drive a very big truck for a very long time, and I'm here to tell you why that matters. He looked at the neurosurgeon and said, ma'am, with all due respect, what you do is incredible. You save lives, but that machine you use for brain mapping, it didn't just appear in the hospital. The plastic, the wires, the microchips, they all came from a different factory. They were all put on a pallet, loaded onto a truck, and driven probably 2,000 miles by someone like me. He turned to the finance guy. He said, sir, your graphs are very impressive, but those numbers, they represent things. Corn from Iowa, steel from Ohio, computers from a port in California. He said, this country is not a website. It's not an algorithm. It's a real physical place. And the only thing connecting all of us is the highway and the men and the women who refuse to keep driving on it. And he went on and talked about during COVID how the truckers needed to be out there. They needed, just as so many other essential workers did, right? But this one got my attention. He said 2 winters ago, I was locked down on I-80 in Wyoming. A blizzard shut the whole state down. I sat in my cab for 72 hours. It was 20 below zero. I couldn't sleep, not because of the cold, but because of the sound, the hum. The hum of the refrigeration unit on my trailer. I was hauling a full load of insulin. life-saving medicine for diabetics. If that refrigerator unit stopped, if I ran out of fuel, if I just gave up and went to a shelter, that entire load, millions of dollars worth, would be worthless. But it wasn't the money I thought about. I thought about the grandmother in Denver, the kid in Omaha waiting for that little vial. So I sat there. I ate cold rations. I checked the fuel and the temperature gauge every 30 minutes. He said for 3 days, he did this. I served this country for 12 years in the Army. I thought that was the hardest thing I'd ever do. I was wrong. The blizzard was harder. And Mike went on. And the point of his story is how interconnected we all are. And that all life is sacred. And we know this, but don't we need reminded of that every now and then? To just take a pause. We get so caught up in everything that's going on in our lives. And I want us to remember that we truly are an interconnected community. So, as we remember, as we move through that, as we go through our day, our lives, our moments, all lives are sacred. From the potato bug, to the mosquito, to the baby porcupine, to each and every one sitting here in this room. The sacredness of life. So as I close out, I want to share with you something that happened this month. In Unity, many of you who have been around Unity for a long time, and Janet, we forgot to celebrate our anniversary.
Yeah, we did.
What, is it 68 years?
Let's see, I turned 69.
This, in October, we normally, we celebrate our anniversary of Unity of Merced, which 69 years that we have been in Merced, which is so lovely and wonderful. So I wanted to mention that. But in Unity, for many of you that have been around and you've looked at Unity and studied Unity, you know that we've had, in the process of when most of you have been a part, we've had two organizations, Unity Worldwide Ministries and Unity World Headquarters. Now, when Charles and Myrtle Fillmore founded Unity, there was just one Unity. And it was based on the awakening of their spiritual consciousness through Myrtle's healing from tuberculosis. I've told you that story many times. I'm not going to take time now. But that was in 86. I've got the chronology, when she first heard that, and she started her healing journey. In 1889, they founded the Society for Silent Help, which we know as Silent Unity. And what they did, they studied everything. Every philosophy, every religion. And through their process and their time of prayer and meditation, came upon this very simple teaching, this very just a way of life called Unity. And Charles was even given the name Unity in a dream, and this vision laid out before him. They were not out to create spiritual centers. They just wanted people to understand that there was only one presence and one power, and that they are one with that presence and that power. It was the people, the students, as they began studying with the Fillmores, who wanted more organization. And so we became more organized. And then in 1966, the one organization became two organizations. And Unity Worldwide Ministries moved off of Unity Village grounds and had our own building, and that was the organizing piece for the ministers and the teachers and the ministries. That was in 1966 that we became two separate bodies. Throughout the years, we've been wanting to come back together as one body. And on November 5th, 2025, there was a vote. And on that Zoom call, at the time of the vote, the number I saw was 1,057 ministers, licensed teachers, and delegates from around the world. 95% of them voted to bring Unity Worldwide Ministries back into under the one umbrella. Now, it sounds like maybe there's been a lot of contention around that over the years. Yeah, a little bit. But not horribly either. We've worked really very well with those two organizations. But the thinking behind this is that it is time for unity to be truly unity. And to work under that one umbrella. So I want you to know that you are a part of that consciousness. That Unity of Merced is part of that consciousness. To embody that in that spiritual evolution. Charles and Myrtle would never have stayed static. They were always moving forward. And so I call Unity of Merced into that awakening and moving forward in spiritual evolution. And I invite you into your own individual journey of remembering that all life is sacred and that we are one with each other. From the truck driver to the neurosurgeon. From the potato bug to the baby porcupine. We are one presence, we are one power, and we are amazing. So as we close, I ask you to just close your eyes gently. And again, let my words be your words. I pause and breathe. Remembering there is only one presence and one power, God the Good, active in my life right now. This presence lives in me, as me, and through me. I am one with divine wisdom. I release old thoughts and open to a higher way of seeing. My heart softens, my mind clears, and the Christ light within guides my next step. Every moment becomes a teacher. Every breath is an opening. I welcome peace, clarity, compassion, and awareness. With gratitude, I accept this shift in consciousness. I release it into divine law, knowing it is already done. For the beauty of the earth. For the beauty of the earth. For the glory of this hour. You are not here by mistake. You are not an accident. You are here right now, in this time, to be fully and authentic and divinely you. And so it is. And so as John prepares to sing for us again, we take our love offerings and our gifts into our hands and into our hearts. And we feel that sacredness. We feel the beauty of all things, knowing that we are truly here for a purpose. and we affirm together. As I experience the awakening of divine consciousness, I offer this gift in celebration and thanksgiving.